do
There's
so.
2,500 legal dealers in the GTA to buy a car.
Yep.
Hell, there's 33 Nissan dealers within 90 kilometers.
Yep.
If I don't like you, you're 7.5 kilometers away from the next one.
Yep.
Right? You've got to stand out.
Sales, marketing, automotive. Jason Harris has done it all. This is the After Hours with Jason podcast. After Hours with Jason podcast is sponsored by DDS Beer Club. Beer specifically crafted for hardworking sales professionals. Find out more at ddsbeerclub.ca.
All right, guys, here we are again, another episode of After Hours with Jay. I have JP Ostiguy with me today. Thanks for coming, JP. Appreciate you spending the evening with me.
Love it.
Let's take an opportunity to tell everybody out there the origin story that is JP Ostiguy. So,
oh, God.
Go ahead.
This is recording, right?
This is recording, so go ahead. Run us down.
All right. Well, I am the manager of retail operations for the Alt Automotive Group, which is part of Zenkin Automotive. Been in sales my entire life with the automotive side for over 10 years, developing internet strategies and lead answering communication perspective. Before that, actually, I was a professional bass fisherman and sold RVs, boats, ATVs, lawn and garden. For years until my body just couldn't do it anymore. And before that, I was actually in retail for many years, selling shoes and clothes and bathing suits. And if you could see me now, it's not a pretty sight. So
I can't imagine buying a bathing suit from JP.
Do I look good in this? No, you do not. And actually played rugby at a high level in sports. So yeah, I've kind of done a bit of everything.
And how long have you been in the automotive industry?
Over 10 years now. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Even did stand-up comedy for 2 years. So that was a fun go. Not for my audience.
So you're currently with the Zenkin Automotive Group.
I am.
Tell me a little bit more about what you do with the Zenkin Group.
I work with the dealers in the Alta Group, the Nissan Infiniti dealers, helping them with their brand perspective. I help them with their leads, communication strategies. How can we get people to answer when we rate them back? How can we get people to respond to better on phone, the use of video, reputation management, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I basically am a glorified sales trainer. I just help people move through the customer experience.
So more on the operations side.
Yeah, more on the operations
side. A bit on the marketing side,
yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's talk more about the operations side.
Okay, perfect.
On the training side, run me down. What are you doing there?
So what I do is I see the root lead as it comes in, and I train the salespeople how to look at the lead and where it came from, the resource, the email address, and form an idea of the customer base. And then that will create a response template for the individual. I teach them how to do video and how important that is of walk-around videos. I teach them how to brand themselves through reputation and reputation management. And I go into more depth on the marketing side with why video is important and why reputation is important. So I'm a master of all trades. I'll even change oil if they need me.
Now, the video response side, that's been a big part of
huge.
It's one of the largest parts of what you do. Right?
It's absolutely trying to get people and getting people to do videos and communicate through video to customers.
So run me down through the evolution of how that started with you in the group, of evolving to where you guys are now as far as the video response go. Like, what does that early video response look like for you guys?
Well, it's funny how it came to be is since 2004, I've been answering internet leads with the marine side, and it kind of translated. Well, when more and more people started advertising, it went right to video. And remember, this is the old flip phone that had the grainy video that you'd send an ex-girlfriend, and you're texting A, B, C to get one letter out. And I was using that and I had great results. And when I fell into the automotive business, it immediately transitioned into having a BlackBerry with a grainier video and sending those videos out. And I had immediate reaction because people saw the value of talking to them individually. And then when I started selling more, I ended up doing FaceTime and other one-to-one Skype calls with customers who were farther. So I got a really good response. So when I was hired by the Zenkin Group, really bringing that philosophy forward and making it more personal experience for the customer.
So I think that's key, is that you're not just training on video response. You are a practitioner way
Absolutely.
before
I was one of the first ever.
Trainer.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what the benefit for you as a salesperson, when you were a salesperson and doing those video responses, how did that benefit you? All the way down to your bottom dollar.
What I found that when I was emailing people and calling people, back then there wasn't a lot of people on the space. So people were more receptive to email. The people were email culture based. Now, as things evolved, I found that email was dying off as people got bombarded with other dealers and other things happening in their lives. I changed to a video structure because video was more one-to-one and personal, and it gave us really a unique look to it. We're still one of the only dealer groups consistently using video to communicate with our customers when the lead or when a phone call or when a customer comes in. Not only to answer their questions, but to thank them, to ask for referrals, to get testimonials, to get reputation management up. There's so much we use it for. So the average person, when they receive a call, it used to be old school, you'd write a thank you note and then send it by mail, and depending on the mail, it would take 2 to 3 days. And if they're in their buying cycle, they'll get this wonderfully handwritten note from you 3 days after they bought the car. So how can I get really right away? Well, sending them videos through, we use Authentic, but there's lots of other video tools out there. And that's AUTHNTK.com. Not the phonetically way it's spelled. But we send videos right when we get off the phone with somebody, and we see that people write back, respond, thank you, this is great, and they're more likely. It cuts the sales cycle down by 6 days when you use video, which is huge. In 6 days, in an ever longer research phase, anytime you can, that could be 1 month difference, really, from the end of the month to a new month. That could be your quota.
So let's talk a little bit about value and opportunity.
Sure.
So from a salesperson's perspective, all right, of doing video response, what is the value and the future opportunity of doing video response?
Well, it's faster than emails, and let's be honest, most people don't have a doctorate in the English language, or don't have a thesaurus beside them. So pounding out, it's just so easy. When can you come in? Versus asking that question and being a little more animated in your conversation, you can actually have these real life conversations, even though they're one way, and have that person view you, see you, get an idea. When I was working at Agent Courtneyson, when I moved to Toronto, it's an area not known for me. I'm a big, burly guy.
You got a big personality.
I got a big personality.
So as a salesperson, you doing a video response gave you the opportunity for someone to consume you as an individual.
Yeah, they consumed a lot of me.
Yeah. Consume a lot of you. Oh, that's going to come out wrong. But consume you and how your approach, your passion, your energy.
Exactly. And the one thing that made the huge difference, I had people now, I only worked by referral, I only worked by appointment. That was the shtick I had.
Yep.
And they moved me upstairs in the accounting office in a room the size of a pay toilet because they didn't know what to do with me. So if I had to only do it by that, I was delivering 410 cars a year just by leads and videos and responses and using it as part of my strategy. And people would come in and asking for me, not because I've talked to them, because of other people referred them, because of my reputation. And because people were like, this is amazing. They were writing Google reviews and other reviews for me.
There's the opportunity play, right? So the value of being able to present yourself as the individual, an authentic individual, and consume you and your passion and your energy behind it. That gave the customer an opportunity to really decide if they want to do business with you or they want to come see you. But the opportunity really lied in the branding development.
Absolutely.
And the sold units.
You know what? It was, I have a strong personality. I'm loud. I've got that strip club announcer voice that, if you're aroused right now, listen to me, I'm so sorry.
I heard a rumor you once were.
But, having that passion and that energy come out, otherwise it's just a flat email. When you see your emails come through and all of a sudden you receive a text video, how much more powerful is that? It's more personal. And then you take that even a step further and do a one-to-one call on video. Now you can see if someone's rolling their eyes at you or, I sold more into Thunder Bay and in other areas than anyone else did. I even sold to Nunavut because people would consume my content and see what I want to do and then reach out and then fly in just to deal with me.
Well, I think leads, I hate the word leads.
I
don't understand why we call it a lead in any way or form. I've been in the industry long enough to understand that that was something a marketing company came up with. Let's call these things leads. Originally, when we designed websites, we didn't have the technology to put all the information out there. So we had to create a form so someone actually asked a question. So it was a form fill, a question.
Which is dying off quickly.
It is. And for the simple reasons that we're now able to consume all the information out there. We don't necessarily have to ask the question. But the fact is that these guys aren't leads, they're questions. Now, through communicating and starting a conversation with that person, you can now generate an actual lead out of that. I always consider it like going to a party, right? You go to a party, someone finds out you're in the automotive industry. Almost instantaneously, what do? They start asking your thoughts and opinions. They're thinking of buying a car. Someone there decides I'm in the market. Oh yeah, let me ask you, let me grill you and have this huge long conversation. What car I should buy or why I should buy it, so on and so forth. But the point of the matter is that you're having a communication. You're having a conversation, right? You're communicating back and forth. The byproduct of that conversation is that you might turn that person at the party you went to into a lead where they may actually come in. I find with dealerships now is that they want to bypass the entire communication process. And they think that someone asking a question, it's a lead. It's not a lead. It's an opportunity to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So through video response, you get to not only answer the question, but show off who you are as an individual.
And, the one thing is with mobile now, 80% of the communication is done by mobile now. Email is still such a useful tool for communicating specific details. But for communication, you have teenage daughters or sons, you call them and they just text you back what? They want short forms, they want instant gratification with communication, right? That's why all these pop-up messenger and LinkedIn specials and everything comes up as instant gratification. So you need to be in that space where people are consuming what they need to do.
But it's not always necessarily the speed of which we respond, but the depth of
course,
the content that we give back to them. I mean, I don't know about you, and maybe it's different, but I don't care if someone takes a couple hours to respond back to me. If the content or the response actually has depth to it, I'm all for it. Heck, they can take half a day to do it if they need to, right? But if I just get some generic generated template, I smell it. And as a consumer, my first thought is you just don't give a crap.
Well, let's look at it this way. Google and all the other Bing and all the other social medias don't rank pictures anymore.
Yeah,
they don't rank pictures. So it's building in the mindset of your consumers that if these massive companies, Bing, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, all these, Siri, don't rank pictures, why are you setting pictures and why are you setting just written text? And it's funny because with the Canadian spam laws, the Castle laws, it really will start weeding out picture-related, document-related, link-related emails. In some cases, when I mystery shop 60 dealers a month, because that's what I do to stay current and see what people are doing, I realize that half of them, if they respond, they go to my junk folder. Why? Because they're picture-heavy, HTML-heavy, link-heavy, long-worded. They use the word special cost, price, clearance.
Sure, of course.
Buy now, flash sale, which I always found funny. A flash sale for a car. I'm buying a $90,000 car. Flash.
Oh, because that's something.
Yeah, it's something's gonna. Yeah. So, but the video will rank. It gets through.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it is, it gets through because all the companies that do emails also know that video is a marketing tool and they'll rank it. It means they're going to let it through most times, as long as it doesn't have a weird caption with wrong things in it.
So the value's there.
Absolutely.
So why the hell are they not doing it? Why are there still dealerships out there that are not doing video?
So I had a long conversation with someone in the automotive industry in Europe, someone that moved there, and I've been talking to him, and he said, JP, in Europe and in Australia and in China, they really look at it as a career. So people get trained for months before they walk onto the floor and are able to communicate with customers. It's actually, in some cases like the Netherlands, it's government mandated. So where people get paid more than they get paid a salary, huge salary, no commissions. So salaries more than make up for the commissions. And people who are in retail stores, regular retail, getting paid $30, $40 an hour because they're professionals. Even the minimum wage people know that every ounce of that product and are passionate about it. Here, because of the turnover we have, we don't look at this industry anymore as a career.
Why the hell are we having turnover? It's because we're not spending the time to
we're not taking
develop
time training or anything else.
Face it, whatever we'll call it. We're just not training.
We're not training at all, but we're also looking for warm bodies. It's funny because I do a lot of recruiting. I do a lot of recruiting for our group. And, I listen to all the talk radio shows when I drive in. It keeps me company. And one of the things I got really angry at is people calling in. Everyone's ghosting us and not showing up for the interviews. And then I said, okay, well, let me call in because I've got a voice, and I sound like a strip club announcer, so this will be fun because I want to hear my own voice on the radio. And I literally laid into the expert, and I said, so why are they ghosting you? Well, it's millennials. I'm thinking, what age is millennials? Well, the young people. Okay, could you qualify that? Because if you don't know what a millennial is, and not a lot of people know what a millennial is, 38 to 24, they're not 19. Okay, you're thinking of 22-year-olds, which are Generation Z. But why are they ghosting us? If you could send me one of your postings, let me take a look. And it was this long, drawn out, me. Why aren't you talking more about me? And I would apply to that. Sure, it sounds great, but I'm not going to go to the interview because me. Yep. Right? All of our hiring now, except for text, you need to have a video resume. I'll talk to you on the phone first and send me your video resume. We don't have anyone ghost us.
Yep.
Because people want to know about this. They want to be part of this. We're getting better quality people.
Well, what you're hiring is you're not hiring salespeople. You're hiring branding people. People that are willing to put themselves out there. And look, I think the day of selling needs to end. And the day of branding is what actually needs to happen. And with video response, that is probably the biggest opportunity, at least I see with video response, is that you have the opportunity not to sell, but to brand. And people buy into brands.
Taking it a step further, the days of multiple department dealerships is going away.
Sure.
The F&I manager, the service consultant, the salespeople, the sales manager, they're going to be gone soon. Now, everyone's going to yell at me, and no, it's not. We need these people. We don't. We absolutely don't. And I'm sorry if you're offended by that. But if I'm coming into an experience, the person who I buy the car from, I also want to buy my finance product because I trust them now. I want to buy my finance or my warranty products from. I also want to rent a car from. I also want to have my car serviced from.
Well, you bought into their brand, into their
and that one person. I want to come in. I want that personal Norm from Cheers experience.
Of course,
I want to come in. Everyone knows my name, and I'm comfortable with it.
That's actually a perfect example.
Exactly. Everyone, it's one experience. Now, as a salesperson, as a service person, as a F&I person, how vested am I in to keep that customer on my portfolio for life? Because that's the only way I'm going to get compensated is that person coming back over for service, for parts, to rent my car. So that's the way the dealership world's going. We are already seeing it.
Yep.
It's in Europe. It's in parts of the States. And in parts of the States, if you don't send a video, you're evicted from your desk.
Look, I would be safe to say that I would assume that your training efforts moving forward is not necessarily on training on how to sell a car, but training to actually brand yourself.
It's training on how to communicate, and communicate is the brand, right?
Yes.
The communication, whether it's texting or video or FaceTime or email, and when the best time to communicate, when the best time to say, what email means what. That's what we teach. It's all branding yourself as a professional.
So in your hiring efforts, I'm going to switch over to my manager. I'm putting my manager hat on now, or dealer principal, GSM, GM, whatever it is, right? I'm not necessarily hiring salespeople. I'm looking to actually purchase and acquire brands. And if you're doing through video interviews, that gives you an opportunity to see what that brand is going to be and how your consumer may or may not, buy into whatever that brand is.
Exactly. We hire for personality. We train skill. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Realistically, it's funny because I've actually looked at this happen, not at our dealer group, but I was visiting someone in a large dealer group in an auto mall, and I watched someone get fired for stealing. Like I was heard about it, and literally I was sitting up in the HR's office talking to the guy, and I looked over and I saw the guy wheel his box just right across the boulevard to another one of their dealerships. I said, "What's that? Didn't you just fire that guy?" He said, "Yep, but they hired him over there." I'm like, "That's great." And, you could all get this done with that communication and that benefit. What benefit is there for looking for make model people? There's still going to be a need for strong people with communication skills, sales skills, but the dinosaurs who just jack people and just get around it, those days are gone because of
transparency.
Exactly. Used cars, there's still some room, but there's so much competition now. There's over 2,500.
Have the room to do
there's 2,500 legal dealers in the GTA to buy a car.
Yep.
Hell, there's 33 Nissan dealers within 90 kilometers.
Yep.
If I don't like you, you're 7.5 kilometers away from the next one.
Yep.
Right? You've got to stand out. And that's why video relates to reputation so well. The brand helps you build your reputation. You know, and people, well, I got Google reviews. I've seen them. They're horrible.
So is it safe to say, from a dealer group's perspective, that what you guys have done, have you guys paid more for a brand than not so much a brand? A salesperson coming on board, looking at them and what value that they bring, do you see the value in the brand that they built themselves?
We're starting to. Like, again, it's a long process to change mindsets, to change ideas. The dealers are now buying into the fact that we need someone to be part of our community.
Yep.
We need someone to post on our Facebook, on our LinkedIn, we need someone to be involved. That's what step one. Okay, now, how can I make that person communicate with customers?
Sure.
We're just starting that ways. How expensive is it to go through staff?
Oh, it's not cheap at all.
It's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
The hours spent in my time, you know, finding the people, hand them over, interviewing them,
just to
reference
find out if they're
checks.
going to work, it's huge.
Exactly.
Huge,
and then you put them there, and if you spend any time training in all the hours, the customer loss, how much money does it cost per customer to come in the door? $300, $400 in some cases.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, low as $150, but the average is what, $350?
It depends on your manufacturer, but yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
$350. So it costs $350 for every customer that walks in the door. And we're seeing more customers versus the last couple of years walk in because people want that unique experience. So $350 per customer, and I put them in front of someone who's not committed and with no branding strategy, and I've just blown $300 at the door.
So it's safe to say that video response for the salesperson, just I'm looking from the salesperson's perspective, not only will help them close more deals, but it creates a brand, and the brand extends out to an opportunity of creating a reputation.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make a commitment to this craft and you plan on being here for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right, this is going to give you the ability, these are the tools that are going to give you the ability to exponentially increase the size of that brand.
Well, and look at, I think...
And reputation.
In a previous episode, you had Paul, the Dodge father, long on.
Yeah.
And the guy has done, you know, we talked to him before. We saw him from nothing. And he's just, from a salesperson turned into a multimedia guru, and he's getting people from all over the province now coming in, even the States, to buy vehicles from him because he's used video to communicate his personality, which is strong, his message, you know, everything else. What a better way to do it. There's a story right there in itself. 3 months gone by and he's suddenly a powerhouse.
Yep.
Just 3 months of consistency. Why do people fail at it? Because they're inherently lazy, we hire the wrong people, and there's no accountability on the end of the dealer.
It all comes down to training and development.
Absolutely.
Really, that's what it comes down to. So let's move on from the value and opportunity with video response from the salesperson. Let's talk about the value and opportunity of video response with dealership or management or ownership, really.
Okay.
How does that affect the overall dealership?
Well, a video takes, once you get used to it, the video takes less time to write than an email.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so you're right away, I can handle more incoming opportunities, whether it's follow-up or everything else. Also, when you're, you know, salespeople and dealerships have kind of a love-hate relationship because I want to brand myself as a salesperson, but the dealer wants to make sure it's their brand.
Sure.
Right? So put a Nissan sign behind them, I guess. I don't know. But it's really important for dealerships to understand and adapt. Okay, my staff are being more productive because now they're sending video responses.
Yep.
My staff are being, you know, everything can be recorded. You can adjust better. So if I'm watching these videos come through, I can actually now live coach this person and go back over it versus, you know, a perceived listen to a phone call or a perceived human traffic, you know, watch something.
It's a measurable effort.
It's a very measurable effort.
It's a measurable effort.
And I know that metrics has taught us that it can close a deal 6 days sooner, and used cars even sooner than that. So
and the closing ratio is higher.
Exactly. And a video alone won't sell a car, but it opens for an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it creates a free follow-up. Did you get my video? Did you like it?
Exactly.
You know, if nothing else, it's an extra step. We already know that it's 5 to 12 follow-ups when you get a deal. Most people stop at 2.
Yeah.
You know, in 60 mystery shops, I've only had one dealer ever go more than 2. Besides put me on the flash sale list.
Yeah.
You know, the predetermined CRM blowout. You know, every month there's a deal.
Yep.
So pretty much, if you can continue to message and use video, that just creates extra opportunity for you and cuts down your workload.
Sure, that totally makes sense.
We all want to lie on the couch.
Yep. No, well, that's
Video
how we want
lets us
to consume it.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I've talked to multiple consumers. In fact, I was just at a dealership right now where I was talking to the general manager, and they were talking about a product that they just recently bought themselves for the holiday season, and the way that they consumed it. They were looking for a new laptop. They didn't go read anything. They didn't look through the images. They purposefully went out to look for a video so that they consume, right, their way, a much higher probability of them retaining the message as well, to decide what ultimate product they were going to purchase.
Exactly. It's funny because I think we talked about this. I'm looking to get all new camera gear for myself and everything else. And I spent 40 hours on YouTube and Google and, okay, no, I need this camcorder. No, it's got to be a DSLR. No. And then that guy just told me I need a DSLR. He had an English accent, so I have to buy from him. And, we consume video more than anything else. YouTube is now the #2 search engine in the world, which will soon take over. Google now ranks things differently. Bing uses video in a huge different metric.
Yep.
And it all leads to like we talked about, brand and measurables for the dealership and more success, and staff that see more involvement are happier. Not even results, but right away you see you're busier because now you're focusing on something, a task at hand.
Yes.
We're even taking video into our service departments now and doing walk-around videos of a service outside of an oil change, and we've seen the dollar per ticket go up by $275.
That's huge.
And think about it.
That's real ROI.
That's a real ROI.
Yep.
Use video. Okay, you're doing an oil change, you pull tires off. Oh, he needs brakes. Mr. Smith, you need brakes. Let me come down and take a look at it. I just had the brakes done 6 months ago. Well, the guy drives in the Don Valley every day, stop and go with ABS. It's going to wear them out faster. But now I can show them on video before he comes down. We're getting people to pay for this stuff while it's still on the hoist.
Which creates this amazing, transparent, real-time experience.
Absolutely.
That has value to the customer. See, I think that's the thing, is that for a lot of dealerships, when I find out that they're not doing video response, it's because they don't necessarily yet see the value in it. But the funny thing is, the value is not intentional for them. The value is for the customer.
Exactly. It's a pain.
But in return, it helps out them. It's crazy.
We all went through pain when we first learned how to ride a bike.
Of course.
We fell off a lot. But when kids in the street got riding, we just figured it out.
Yeah.
And now we never look back on it. It's fun to ride a bike. And we see the value of it. Seeing the value of socializing with your other friends, right, as kids. My daughter was that last year. Could never ride a bike. Then her friends, we moved, rode a bike. Guess what happened the next day? She rode a bike.
Absolutely. She committed to it.
As long as you'll see almost immediate value in the service department. It takes a little longer in the sales department as someone finds their personality.
I think that's actually a great place to start.
Yeah.
I think if a dealership, from a management perspective or an operations perspective, that you're going to get into video response and you're really truly looking for that immediate ROI, start in the service department.
Absolutely.
It's 100% trackable.
And we're seeing people outside of automotive using it more often than automotive. It's funny because we had hired someone. I didn't hire him, and we hired some guy. And my first conversation with him was like, "Wow, this is probably not going to work out." And I don't mean that in a bad way, but you just get this feeling of, you look at someone and they're doing they're looking at their phone, their face is lit up, and they're not they don't understand. Like, I saw him walk into the tree in Woodbridge. Like, he didn't even understand. Anyway, you're not going to work out. He says, you got to send video. It doesn't work. And have you ever done video? It just doesn't work. So I crept up on him, and I use that word not like, he was at work. It wasn't
where this story is going.
You should close your blinds. I crept up on him, and I videotaped him watching video of something he wanted to buy. I'm going to say that again. I videoed him watching video of something he wanted to buy, and he was researching. He was consuming video of a product he wanted. And he says, video doesn't work. I said, it did. Look. And I showed the video to him. I'm like, oh, he quit the next day because he just doesn't want to do it. But the fact is, it just showed that he consumes video. We all do it.
100%.
People build houses now on YouTube. Now they're ugly houses. But people build stuff on YouTube. The how-to, it used to be the most searched item was, what's my engine light mean?
Yep.
It's now the most YouTube search.
Yep.
There was a meme out there with a video, and the car won't start. I don't know why. Well, what does it say on the lights on the dash? It looks like someone's taking a poop. It was a -4 degrees sign. But video, we're consuming video even when we don't know it.
No.
Right? Data plans now, like one of the data companies, cell phone companies, offering a 500 gigabyte extra. they know our weak points.
It's a reason that they're doing it. It's the same thing, like, we're just looking at 2018. We're doing a recap, right? And the millions of dollars that we managed in ad spend in 2018. And the one thing that really stuck out, and I took a couple of weeks to really analyze the data. There were a bunch of things, but one thing I thought was really, really interesting, the cost per video view for almost every dealership we work with did not change in the entire year of 2018, which is insane, by the way, because these systems are not designed to do that. Once they realize that you're doing something and it's successful, you continue to do it, they're naturally just going to
because no one's
the value
doing
of it, right? Well, they're rewarding off of it. They're rewarding you. Like, look, average cost per view right now is between 3 to 5 cents, which I think is stupid, stupid cheap. It's stupid cheap. I mean, I remember when I was doing Google AdWords way back in the day, and I remember having a meeting where Corvette was the big keyword that we were advertising against, right? For the entire western part of the United States. And we went from 15 cents to click to 18 cents a click. And holy crap, we had to stop the presses. All right, the entire team needed to get together into a meeting, and it was literally, Jason, what are you and your team doing about this? Why did we go from 15 to 18 cents a click? Like, that was a big deal. Holy good God, if I could duplicate 15 cents a click right now on a high-level keyword like that, people would love me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we can't. There's an opportunity here right now with video.
Oh,
if we're not developing
huge.
out content, we're going to lose this. I mean, it's a bull market. Facebook, Google, Instagram, they're literally capping it off. I mean, there's no explanation for why this cost for all of 2018, the 700 different videos that my team and I ran for dealerships across Ontario, for that cost of video per view never changed. Well, the entire year is ridiculous. They're rewarding us.
Absolutely, and to take that point where how video ranks better. So I Googled my name because, I'm a narcissist.
Yes. That.
No, my wife wanted to know what I've been doing. She wanted to see how you rank, and she Googled my name and stuff that I did 10 years ago with the Turpay Automotive Group.
I still got some.
I was an ugly guy back then. Showed up like in the first page. I'm like, that's 10 years old, and it's got like 4,000 views. Yep. But it ranked higher than everything I'd written on LinkedIn recently. And why? Because it's video.
Well, the thing is, I think what the future holds for a lot of these ad platforms, the old KPIs that we used to use, click-through rates and CPMs and cost per clicks and all this stuff, it's not something necessarily that they're going to be pushing forward. They're going to start charging for engagement. That's what they want to charge for. The best way for us to measure engagement is through video.
Oh,
I mean, I know if you watch 2 seconds, 7 seconds, 25 seconds, 45 seconds of it, and I know what you did after you continue to watch that. So, if these marketing channels out there are already adopting and modifying their systems to really give you the benefit and the value of putting the videos out there, why the hell dealerships aren't doing it is absolutely mind-boggling. Well, so this goes to my next question for you. For the dealer principals or general managers out there that say, my staff, they're just too old, they won't do it, what do you say?
It's funny, when I first started with the group, I started working with our Chrysler store, which is still a Chrysler. And we had a guy named Mark Edwards. He's now retired. Mm-hmm. And I was looked at him. I was in a full room of Chrysler people, old school Chrysler people. And I was like looking at her going, wow, this is going to really be painful. The first person that adopted and had the most success, Mark Edwards, 62 years old.
Yep.
Because he immediately realized that I'm not good at email. I'm not good at this net thing. But he could do videos, right? And he just went out and talked. And the videos sometimes we're not in the car like he is. But people like to hear the grandpa.
Sure.
And he did really well with it. You give me a dealer who says, I don't want to do video, we won't do video, but
they blame it on their staff.
They blame it
on their staff.
But the thing is, you give me a staff that does that, it's really simple. We don't punish anybody. You don't constructively dismiss anybody. Mm-hmm. But not a problem. I will tell you, if you don't do video, I need your CRM to be 100%. You're going to go upstairs until every lead, because if they're not doing video is a precursor to other things they're not doing.
Sure.
So if they're not willing to do video, they're not willing to follow up. If they're not willing to follow up, they're not willing to update their CRM. They're not willing to call their customers. They're not willing to call their after delivery. They're not willing to follow up. And suddenly, 4 years later, here's the lease return list. Oh, hi, Mr. Smith. Remember me? No
idea who you are.
So video is just a precursor of what's going to happen. I've only known 1 or 2 people who just refused to do video, but they were so good at what they were doing outside of it. They were like community leaders.
Yeah.
So they didn't need video. They were part of the social network was offline. And they could
But they could have expanded the audience
but they were at their bandwidth. So it wouldn't have mattered. But you give me a dealer who says, my staff won't do it. First of all, shame on you because you're letting your staff control the floor.
I think that's a very, very key point.
But before you even start with video, look at the small victories you can have. It's hard to walk in and say, you're going to lose 100 pounds today. That's why these get rich, lose diet plans are so expensive, are so cool. This pill will make you lose 100 pounds. It will give me cancer, but it'll lose 100 pounds.
I think that's a good point. We have to create a routine.
Yeah,
just like working out, losing the weight, we got to create a routine.
You need to start with little micro victories. And one of the smallest, easiest micro victories, I take care of my customers. Great. Let's get some reviews. So to lead into videos, let's get the team on board with some micro victories. If you're so good with your clients and everyone loves you, why don't you have any positive experience online? Why has no one said anything good about you? Nothing bad.
Because it's my first impression. I mean,
it's my first
your
impression.
Response to whatever my online question was is going to be one of the first real impressions I have of you as a business.
As a brand, I don't know who you are. When I Google you, the only reason I find you is because you're on OMVIC and you're on some dealer's website, which there's 25 Dan Smiths.
Yep.
How can I make you get instant results? And I tell people, if you can give me 1 month and get me 4 reviews, it will give you a deal within 60 days or an opportunity within 60 days. Can you do that? Mm-hmm. And they got to be good reviews. They can't be like 1 star, he ripped me off, negative one. But if you can get me 4 of them, and I a good Alta Infinity was like this. A guy named Doran hated me. He didn't want to do anything. I'd like, you're a waste of skin, he told me. And I said,
waste of skin.
And I said,
make a note of that one.
Hey, but you know what? I appreciate that because I can wrap my skin around you and don't edit that out. No, but I said, okay, I'll go away, but I need one thing out of you. I need you to give me one challenge you need to do. And when it fails, I'll go away. I will never talk to you again. He said, perfect. I said, I need you to get 5 Google reviews within 45 days. Well written, and they can't be by you because I know where they came from. And they've got to be well written customer reviews. You say the customers love you. I've seen you with them. You're great. Why can't you ask them? So fine, if it makes you go away, I'll do it. 25 days later, he called me and he said, can you come in today? And I said, why? I just need you to come in. And he came in and he came up to me and he put his hand out and shook my hand and said, thank you. I said, for what? You hate me. And he says, it worked. I said, what worked? The cream? Oh, that was a different conversation. Sorry. No, but he had gotten 5 reviews and someone came in, asked for him specifically, and bought a car from him. And during his due process, oh, did you get referred to? Because I want to call and say thank you. No, I saw your reviews online and I thought there was value there and I wanted to come talk to someone who looked like a professional. 5 reviews over a 20-day period resulted in 1 sale.
That's very cool.
And we repeated that over and over again. The metric is 5 to 7 reviews within a 45-day period will give you 1 opportunity.
That's an interesting statistic.
So we got everyone little micro victories, right?
Yep.
And every once in a while you need a kick in the ass. Oh, that guy loved me. Great. Ask for that. What could you do for me? Well, they're getting my survey and they're going to, hey, no, that's for the dealership. Could you do something for me? I'm building my brand. Could you really help me out? If you like your experience. And, when I was selling, I had a heck of a lot of Google reviews. Yep. I had more video testimonials, which I'll get about in a second. But people are like, oh, I forgot to do that. Mr. Smith, I want to make sure you got home okay. Love doing it. Did you get your Bluetooth set? Okay, great. Did you have time to do a Google review? No, I'll do it tonight. Perfect. I'll make sure you're okay by the end of the week.
Well, it's communicating the way the customer wants to communicate.
Oh, and helping them help out now.
You're doing it for the customer, which anytime you do it for the customer, you, as the salesperson of the dealership, is the one that actually ultimately ends up winning.
Absolutely. When dealers start...
You're a little more political when it comes to a dealer principal or a GM saying that my staff won't do the videos. I'm not so political.
Well,
I literally just say, well, shit, if you don't do it, well, then in the next 5 years, I'll see that you're sold to another company who will be willing to do it.
Well, because
that's where we're consuming.
But at the end of the day, like I believe in the laws of attraction. I believe in the fact that positivity breeds positivity. Right? That's all what I've adopted, and I think it's been really working well for me.
Yeah.
you can't make anyone do what they don't want to do, but you can ask them.
I actually disagree. You're paying them.
But
you're paying them to be there.
But they can
better
leave.
do exactly
but they
what I
can
asked them
leave,
to
so I can't physically make them do it. They can leave.
Okay, fair.
But if I start asking them questions to a point where they don't have any more answers, they pretty much fold into it.
So
anyway.
don't you think that's the whole point? Is that this actually needs to be a part of your job title, your job description?
Now, when
this
we
is
hire
what
people,
you do.
This is when we hire people, we actually make it part of it, and that's why the video resume. I just got off the phone while I was waiting to come in on a lady that was talking and said, "You need to send me a video resume." Well, I don't want to do that. Not a problem. Well, when do I have an interview? You don't.
Exactly.
We only. This is not.
If
an
you're
interview.
not willing to go that far,
Yeah.
why should I take my time and my effort to even meet with you in the first place? Because at the end of the day, you're looking to acquire brands.
Yeah.
And those brands, those individual brands, aka salespeople, are going to go out there and represent the dealership as a whole brand, right? And it's all those little elements, all those little brands, and the stock that's invested in those are what's going to bring value to the dealership itself.
And take it a step further when you're hiring somebody. Videotape the interview.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't even put the camera on. But if the person's not comfortable with it, chances are they're either being dishonest or it's not going to work out. Everyone's a little uncomfortable on video.
I love video. It holds us accountable. I record 6 hours of my day every single day. It is pretty tough for me to BS my way through this.
I know, and when you record it, you can go back to it when someone's you had a question. Sometimes it's just the camera in the room will bring out a different personality.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times I don't even push record. It's just that experience, right? And then they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And some people have said, "I don't want to be any part of this." Great. Perfect. That's you've made my job easier.
Because I believe dealerships moving forward they're in the PR business. We're in the branding business. That's what we are. Look, you said there's 30, what did you say, 33 Nissan?
33 and 87 kilometers.
33 Nissan dealerships and 87-kilometer difference. As a consumer, I got a hell of a lot of options.
Yep.
Who the hell am I going to choose to do business with? It's whoever has the stronger brand.
Yep.
That's the story I'm buying into before the story of the price. Hell, let the manufacturer sell the story of the price. They can spend their hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to do so. Let them do it.
Absolutely.
Right? The dealership, these dollars being spent, and that goes down to co-op, which is a whole nother podcast in itself.
That's a nightmare.
Handcuffs, aka co-op. All right? Look, we have to sell the brand. Why? The reason they should become doing business with us. And you have, aka salespeople, all these little mini brands within your umbrella. Someone's going to resonate with one of those brands.
Absolutely. And going back to video and reputation, we've talked about service, we've talked about sales, we've talked about everything else. When is the customer most happy? When they're picking up their car.
Sure.
It should be
when the
most
value,
happy.
the values lean on their side.
Yeah. So
Perception of value.
most people ask for a referral at that point. And I would say, great, that's a great way to, you should build the seed of referrals throughout the point. But I guess you could videotape and say, "Hey, you told me you're getting a referral." But but think about now. They're most happy. A Google review goes great. What if you got them on video? I trust a complete stranger.
At the happiest moment.
At the happiest moment.
Of their sales or purchasing process, experience, whatever you want to call it.
But don't just ask them to be a narcissist and why did you buy the car from me? Because they're going to tell you anyway.
Sure.
Instead, and they're buying a car from you, and great Susie, you came all the way from Thunder Bay. I really appreciate it. You were looking at an Accord. Why'd you buy the Altima?
Yep.
And then they're going to tell you why they bought from you and the Altima. And the next person that says, I'm looking at buying an Accord or an Altima. This is why my customer bought the Altima. And you're using a complete stranger to tell your story and brand yourself. Now, take it even a step further. Invite customers after their first service back in. Have a good relationship with them. Back in and drive their car and videotape them.
Sure.
And now get their story. Why'd you this? My first service, that thing was great. Blah blah blah. Put that on your website. Now,
very, very valuable content.
And not to sound completely off center, but when I was agent court, I put a video up as my picture, and people come to me, "You're the white guy." I hate to say it, but it worked because people want to deal with a certain culture, and not that I promote any type of racism at all, but they saw something they were comfortable with.
We buy into a brand.
We buy into a brand.
Right. There's a specific brand that we all feel
I don't know who his name is.
End up purchasing.
And it works so well that people in there, I'm JP. I said I'm the big guy who sits upstairs. I'm the creepy guy waving at the window. Like Santa, like a little more creepy. But people work so well that dealership, all the salespeople try to change their name by initials because not everyone remember my name, but they remember the story. They come in, is JP, big guy upstairs, and so people, I'm RJ. You must be here for me. No, you don't sound like him, and he's upstairs because I see all. But the branding of the video is what gave me the customers.
Sure.
The experience that I offered at the dealership made it credible.
It's what created the reputation.
Yeah, built my reputation.
Yep.
The reputation and the videos created a buying signal for the customer, and they knew they'd be treated well.
I think it's fair to say that from a salesperson's perspective, if you don't embrace the video response, then you're literally going to be at the mercy of whatever's coming through the door.
Absolutely.
That's it. Bottom line, that's what it is. And I think the other takeaway as far as a general manager or dealer principal goes is that it is a part of the job description.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, buts about it, right? Just moving forward, that is what it is. If you have these little mini brands, aka salespeople within your dealership, all right, that make up the entire brand that is the dealership in its entirety, you have to hire for that.
Absolutely.
It's not about who can close, it's who can actually tell the better story.
But you also have to keep those, everyone puts those away in HR when someone signs a contract to go away in HR and they stay in the file and never be seen again.
Well, it's got to be embedded into your process. But if it's not embedded into your process, then it'll never happen.
But it also has to be, like you said, I had everyone initial beside the video point.
Sure.
When I said, well, I need you initial there. Oh, yeah, I'll sign them. No, I need you initial right there. I don't care what you do with the rest of it. Because I would keep them in my office. And when someone started falling off track, I'd be like, okay, so I give them an action plan, what's going to happen, what we need to do, what we'll work on together, what your challenges are, what's going on at home. And then when they continue to go, I'm like, no problem. So do you enjoy working? Oh yeah, I really like working here. You're a really good guy. Great. And I pulled it back out going, okay, I need you to read through this again. And they're like, I know it's video. You said it. I didn't mention it. I just need you to read through this as a brush up every month, every week, every day. And I give them 10 points to stick on their desk. They have to read through it every day. And they have to do it.
Yep.
Right? No ifs, ands, or buts. And you always reward people. It doesn't matter how crappy the video is. Eventually it gets better.
So when it comes to the dealerships, when the excuse is used that my staff just won't do it, look, we can bypass that. You literally make it part of the job description. Now, I have another one for you because I have heard this one a lot, is that I don't want the salespeople's brand to become more powerful or bigger than my own brand as a dealership. They're concerned about the salespeople putting themselves in front of these customers and then ultimately walking away. What do you say when someone says that?
Well, first of all, the customers belong to the dealership. Now, I'll give you the copy of the pink so I can follow up. No, you have a CRM. Yep. The old school way of giving one their sales contracts, it's in the CRM. You don't need to give someone a binder they can walk away with.
Sure.
Because that's what happens.
Yes.
When you control the CRM, they can't print anything off without your approval, right? I always tell people, not a problem. So you're worried about your brand. So how many videos have you done?
Oh, myself? Personally?
No. For the dealership. I said, no problem, Mr. GM. No problem, Mr. GM. You don't want your people walking around. Perfect. So how many videos have you done personally? Because you're worried. You want to be the brand. You want no one. So let's start off by you doing videos. He says, no, I don't want to do videos. That's the problem.
Exactly. It starts from the top.
Exactly.
Look, shit rolls downhill. It starts from the top.
Exactly. Well, but that's the problem. They won't leave. Once they built the brand, the only reason they would leave is because motivated by a couple of things. They don't feel like they're being treated valuable. Salespeople are generally pretty loyal.
Because the dealership doesn't value the brand.
It doesn't value the brand or the salespeople. You're already assuming that person's going to leave before you've made the decision to do anything. I see dealers that still don't have computers on their desks. Not ours, thank God. But, and you're not allowed to have your phone. I've seen a dealer. I was invited when I moved to Toronto to another brand's sales meeting. And I saw the GM grab someone's phone and chuck it in the garbage. And back then, phones weren't $1,000, but still, back then, $500 was a lot more money.
Sure.
And I looked at him going, and I had to stop his sales meeting going, what the fuck did you just do? Well, he wasn't paying attention because you're boring and you yell at people. And I should videotape this and show it back to you. So the next one, I set up I videotaped with my phone and I showed it back to him. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know it was like that. I had veins in my neck. And I was like, and you wonder why they don't respect you.
Sure.
So videotape your sales meetings and send people's reaction. Set up 2 cameras cell phone cameras are fine. One facing forward and one facing backwards. The reason I say that is because you want to know how engaged you are.
So it's not enough just to create the content.
You need to create the culture.
Yourself. You got to audit yourself.
Absolutely. You know, you taught me a long time ago, and when you came to my networking event, Engage Networking.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. We had cameras set up all over the room because I wanted to see what the engagement was from the speakers.
Sure.
I wanted to see if when someone spoke, all the faces load up, looking at their phones, or was it more engagement?
Yep.
You know, I need to know that because then we have to change the content or the delivery of that. As a comedian, you always have to know your audience.
You got to know what the audience is.
And I was always been really good at reading a room because that was you live or die. And you know, they put me in front of this is a retirement home and they're all on death row. You probably shouldn't have had me here because I don't know too much political humor. But you know, you've got to be able to read your room. And if you, as a sales manager, GM, lead hand, a salesperson, if you're not comfortable in that environment, then change your environment. Whether it's physically or figuratively, change your environment. Start doing videos. If you say, well, my dealer doesn't want me to do it, call me. I'm looking for people.
So I think the takeaway here is that video is not only valuable to the consumer, it's incredibly valuable from the operations and development and training side. And the bottom line is, if you're just not doing video, then you're just behind.
Well,
again, and it's not necessarily as a dealership. We have to stop asking about. We have to stop asking the question of how much money or how many cars we sold. We need to start asking the question of how much money could we have made, how many cars could we have sold if we're really leaving it all on the field. Yeah. And in this industry, the way it is right now, to leave it all in the field, every single effort needs to be put forward, and video is a huge part of that.
And the private sale days are over. You know, micro moments. You know, the days of, you want to buy my car? So does 62 other dealerships right now. Yep. You know, they give them, you want to buy my car? Last time I was in, you told me I was upside down, but now you want my car?
Yep.
You've got to experience a different set. Have fun with it. You know, interview your customers. Set up a podcast. Do something to have fun with. And you can really see a big return. And it's just, when people see it's not working, two things will happen. They'll be, you know, the sour grapes. Oh, that record garden, stupid, here every day, wants to work hard, ruining it for us. Or they'll have the, how did you do that moment?
Yep.
And we've seen more how did you do that moments happen. You know, when I first got in the car business, and not just talk about me, I was the new guy in the block that no one respected. Two guys, Turpin, Pontiac, Buick, 60 years in the business. They had been there 20 plus years. They had their portfolios. And I was one of those new guys who can be gone in 2 months like they've seen time and time again.
Sure.
Well, after 3 months, they started, how'd you do that? You know, they started coming like Sling Blade, like corn. You know, they started coming over and asking me what I was doing because they wanted to learn it. So even if your dealer principals aren't supporting you, just go on your own. If it feels right, do it.
It's your business.
It's your business.
You're renting the space. I mean, you're giving up X percentage of the gross profit of every single transaction to actually physically be in the space, occupy the desk that you're sitting in. Run it as your own damn business. Stop looking for it. I agree with you. From the salesperson's perspective, stop looking for the opportunity for your dealership to say yes or no. Do it yourself. It's your responsibility, your business. You make your income.
Well, and there's dealers in the States who actually have legal right to evict you. You rent the desk. So
sure.
From the front of this, like the top dealer, top person is a $10,000 a week, and you have to pay for that, and you have to hit certain targets. Yes, it's still a dealership, but you're an entrepreneur in a dealership.
100%.
50 desks, the last one is 200. Nothing trickles down to the filter. You can't leave before you're in a zone, so you got to hope someone walks in the back door from the shop.
That's a pretty cool structure. I haven't seen that before.
And it works because I talked to one guy who lost his desk once 20 years ago, and he's never lost it since. He's evicted, and when you're evicted, you can reapply or you're fired. When you're evicted, most people are gone, and they say that the top 5 are always there, and then everyone else it gets evicted every month.
Yep.
And it trickles down. Well, guys are doing anything and everything. That's where the car genie and the all came from. They were in that structure.
Well, because they need to continue to evolve themselves as a brand.
Exactly, but one guy started being the car genie, and then he adapted to. Then the next guy was going to be the Elvis, And the next guy was going to be, why? Because the first guy was getting traction.
Yes.
So what does it create? Copycats, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we'll wrap this up.
Sweet.
But your final statement as far as what you would say to a salesperson, what you would say to upper management when it comes to video response and reputation.
So with salespeople, it's uncomfortable. You'll suck at it at first. It's
Sure.
okay. I'll show you videos. Call me. I will show you videos. Of like, shit, and I walk off. You know, it was they were horrible, but they get better, and opportunities open for you. You have no idea how many opportunities open for you. Just know that the video is an opportunity. It doesn't end there. You have to continue to follow up and everything else.
So that's great for the salesperson. Now, how about the management?
Management, be open to it. Be a little bit more on your feet about it. Go around, talk to your people. So many managers never leave their office.
Sure.
Or they're, besides the smoke. So be on top of it. Take it under your own wing. Try it yourself. Yes, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's like learning another language. You're going to suck at
About managing by example.
But managing by example is so important because when you start doing it, it's hard for people to say, well, you don't do it. Like showing up early every day and having everyone show up late,
Sure.
it doesn't work.
Nope.
Be the person that represents it. As a general manager, start in your service department. You'll immediately see a return.
Real return.
A real
100%.
return. And, in some cases, some dealers are actually using it as a one-to-one. There's a Porsche of Oakville.
Yep.
Has actually done it where they have live call-ins on a system they've employed it goes live call into the receptionist, so she can actually have a phone conversation on an iPhone in FaceTime.
Yep.
And then they can transfer that call to a salesperson. Only 3 of them in a 50-person dealership.
It's a beautiful process.
And then they go around and do the full walk-around video and the full test drive, with that person on the phone.
Yep.
That's the evolution.
But you know what's really interesting, and we'll wrap this up. A lot of people think that they created that simply because it was just a good idea. It came from the perspective that they wanted to save their consumers time, and a lot of their buyers don't necessarily always have time to come directly into the dealership. So by developing out that cornerstone of wanting to save their consumers time, that's actually where the process was
Customers
created.
want it anyway. You just facilitated it.
100%.
And if you're doing a video, for God's sakes, don't make it an OEM commercial.
Yes, I agree.
Make it fun, make it inviting, make it useful. If it's got remote start, start the car. If it's got a power tailgate, open the tailgate. Don't talk about the frickin' 4x4 when it comes standard on the car.
Don't regurgitate whatever the
You're not a
said.
manual. People want to see personality. They don't want to see a commercial.
Okay, well, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, JP, so much for taking
awesome.
the time to come talk to me. For the audience out there, how can they connect with JP Ostiguy?
Gee.
Ostiguy.
They can email me. It's jp@alta, ALTA group.ca, jp@altagroup.ca. Or you can call me 647-888-7300, 647-888-7300.
Awesome. Thanks, JP. Really appreciate you.
No problem at all, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, bye.